Hello guys, welcome back to our first setup that we learn about the F5 setup, which is the SNR continuation type 1. So as we know, the SNRC1 is a continuation setup. Therefore, this setup is low risk. So let's get started. So let's have a look at the introduction for the SNRC1. It is one of the simplest setup among the Fantastic 5 setup. And it is a continuation setup, as I said earlier. Therefore, it is low risk. And guys, please do remember that the entry point for the SNRC1 is the rally base rally for buy. And where else the sell will be looking at the drop base drop. So once we have found the rally base rally and the drop base drop, inside the body base zone, there must be a capital A for resistance inside the rally base rally, and also the capital V for support for the drop base drop for sell setup. So the SNRC1 has two modes. One is a medium mode and the other one is the strong mode. So the strong mode, you can entry with a bigger lot. So this is what we call the perfect entry. So the perfect entry, we can use the trend line as our confluence, or we can use the engulfing candle as our strong confirmation as well. So let's get started into the SOP. Let's have a look for the SOP for the SNRC1 buy setup. This is a medium mode. So the SOP is actually very simple. First, of course, we must always find the entry point for buy setup, which is this case is the rally base rally. And remember guys, the capital A, which is the resistance, has to be within the entry point zone. So this is an example. As we can see, this is a rally base rally. At this base area, we can see there is a capital letter A. Now, first of all, what should we do is we should mark the zone. Mark the zone of the entry point. In this case, this is the rally base rally. Why do we want to mark the zone? Because so that we can know that whether the capital letter A is inside the zone. So in this case, we can see that this capital letter A is inside the zone. Therefore, we will mark the horizontal line. As we can see here, this is the capital letter A, the horizontal line, and it is inside the body base of the entry point. So where should you put your PO, your pending order, will be this horizontal line. This is where you should put your pending order. And then price will come back to this zone and react and continue on the uptrend. So let's have a look at the example. Here I have a GBP USD pair on the H4 time frame. Do you guys able to find the capital A and also together with the entry point? Yes, there is one here. You can see here there is one capital letter A with the entry point, and here as well. Okay, but here I want to show you there's something that hasn't happened, which on this is the capital letter A. This is what we call a resistance. Okay, if you go to the line chart, this will look like an capital A, and this is our entry point. So what should we do? We mark the zone of our entry point, which is the body base of the rally base rally. Then we mark the horizontal line at the top of the body of the resistance. Now, how do you know that this will be a capital letter A? The only thing we can know this is to move this chart to the line chart. Therefore, we shift it to the line chart, and we can see that this is the capital letter A, and it is inside the rally base rally, our entry point. Therefore, the SOP is complete. Next, what should we do is we wait for the price to react. So price comes back to this area, okay, into our entry point and continue on the uptrend. Now let's have a look at the SOP for the SNRC1 sell setup for the medium mode. So same exactly like the buy setup. However, our entry point for this will be the drop base drop. And remember, it has to be the capital letter V, which is the support, and has to be within the entry point zone. Remember guys, please do not choose an entry point zone that doesn't has a capital letter V or capital letter A. So here, as we can see, there is an entry point which is the drop base drop. And at the same time, we can see there is a capital letter V, support. So first of all, we mark the zone of the entry point. In this case is the drop base drop. We mark it so that we just want to identify that the capital letter V is inside the drop base drop zone. So once we have this, second, we mark the horizontal line at the edge of the support, which is this is the capital letter V. As we can see here, okay, V, sharp V. Then price will come back to this area and continue on the downtrend. Same as well with the buy setup. Our pending order will be this horizontal line, okay, horizontal line. Now if you want to have a sharp entry on this horizontal line, make sure that you use a ECN or a raw account. If you use a standard account, normal account, please do remember to add your spread so that you won't be miss entry. So now let's have a look at the example. So here I have a XAU USD on a 1 hour time frame. Can you guys spot the drop base drop and in line with the capital letter V? Okay, now let's have a look. So here I found a drop base drop, capital letter V, okay, at the same inside the drop base. So I mark the capital letter V with a horizontal line, which will be our pending order for sell limit. Then next, what should we do? We move to the line chart to check that we are marking correctly. Yes, so we mark at the capital letter V in line with the drop base drop. So the SOP is complete. Next, we wait for the price to come back and react. As you can see, price react to this SNRC1 setup and continue on the downtrend. Let's look at the strong mode for the buy setup. So it is actually the same like the medium mode, only that this comes with a trend line as our confluence. So it's the same, 1, 2, only the third one, like I said earlier, trend line. And the trend line, as always, teacher Nora said that we only use the T-bar style. So the T-bar means it's just a confluence. It doesn't have to be exact at a point. Just draw a line just to sweeten our eyes so that we can see the price react towards the confluence. So here I give you an SOP of the example. We can see that this is a rally base rally, and there is a capital letter A. So we mark the zone and we mark the horizontal line as our pending order for buy limits. Now this time we will add the trend line. So we have the first drive, second drive, and remember guys, we must always entry the trend line at the third drive. So we mark our pending order of buy limit at the capital A resistance here, okay, which is inside the entry point. So therefore price will come back to this area and continue on the uptrend. Now this is what we call the perfect entry for SNRC1. If you find this kind of setup with a confluence of trend line, you can entry at a bigger lot than your normal lot. Now let's have a look at the example at the chart. So here I have a CAD JPY on the H4 time frame. So do you guys able to spot the rally base rally in line together with the capital letter A? There you go. So we mark the zone, okay, for our entry point, which is the rally base rally. So in the rally base rally, we have the capital letter A. So this is the capital letter A resistance. It's in line with our entry point, which is the rally base rally. Next, what should we do, guys? the trend line. Like I said earlier, the trend line, we just use a T-bar style, means we just draw a line. It doesn't have to be exact this or here or here. We just draw a line just so that we know that the price always reacts towards this as a confluence. Okay, so we have the first drive, second drive, and we entry at the third drive. Next, what should we do? We go to the line chart. We make sure that our capital letter A is in line with our daily base rally. So we have the capital letter A. And then we wait for the price to react. As you can see, price comes back and react towards this confluence and touch our entry point and continue on the uptrend. So if you found this kind of setup with the trend line as a confluence, you can put a bigger lot. Now let's look for the sell setup for the strong mode. So same as like the buy setup for the strong mode, we have the 3 SOP. And this time our entry point will be the drop base drop, and we will add the trend line. So we use the T-bar style. Now guys, as a reminder before I forget, you must always find the setup first. Means you have to find whether it's SNRC1 or other setup, find the entry point, and then lastly only you draw the trend line. Do not draw the trend line first before you find the setup. Always the trend line is the last one after you have found your setup. So let's have a look at our sell setup. Same goes, this is a drop base drop. So we mark the zone. Inside the zone we have the capital letter V, which is the support. So we will put our pending order of sell limit at this area, which is in line with the edge of the support, which is the capital letter V. Then next thing what we should do is to draw our trend line. So we have the first drive, second drive, and we always entry at the third trend line. Price will then come into this area and continue on the downtrend. So this is the perfect entry for the SNRC1. Let's have a look at the MT4 chart example. So here again, I have the XAU USD. This is the goal. Do you able to find the entry point, guys, with the capital letter V? First of all, what should we look for? The drop base drop. Okay, so here we go. We have the drop base and then drop. Okay, next we mark our capital letter V, which is the top here. Okay, you can see this is the body. So the body will be marked as the capital letter V, and it is in line with our entry point, which is the drop base drop. And then what should we do, guys? The trend line, do not forget. So we have the first drive, second drive, and we will entry at the third drive. Now the good thing about having this trend line is that if the price doesn't come back quick enough, means it lingers around, then you can consider this as a leg retest. So once it is a leg retest, it will consider as a high risk. We will then move to the chart, to the line chart, and then we can confirm that the capital letter V is in line with our drop base drop entry point. Next, what should we do? We put our PO and wait for the price to come back to our entry point here. Okay, as you can see, price come back to this area and continue on the downtrend. It is simple, isn't it? Most important, guys, find the setup first. After you found the setup, you have the entry point, drop base drop, and then you found the capital letter V. Then lastly, we will draw the trend line as our confluence. Now let's have a look at other examples where we do not have a trend line as a confluence, but we can use as confirmation, which is the engulfing candle. So I give you an example for buy here. So guys, can you able to see the entry point with the resistance? There goes. So we will draw this our entry point, which is the Rayleigh base rally. In line with the Rayleigh base rally, we do have the capital letter A. So we mark our horizontal line at the edge of the resistance. Next, we change to the line chart. Yes, our capital letter A is in line with the Rayleigh base rally. Next thing, this time what we should do is that we do not have the trend line as our confluence, but we do have the confirmation at the higher time frame. So we need to use the multi time frame analysis. Very important. Multi-time frame analysis is the key for us to find confirmation at the bigger time frame. Now this setup is in the M30 time frame. We can look the confirmation at the H1 or the H4. You do not have to go and find the confirmation up to daily or weekly if you're in the M30 time frame. Just go up another 1 or 2 time frame is good enough. Don't have to go all the way up very far away. Okay guys, please take note of this. Next, we wait for the price to react. Price comes back and continue on the uptrend. Okay, sharp entry and continue on the uptrend. Next, we look at the example for sell. Are you able to find again the entry point? For sell, we will look for the drop, base drop, and in line with the drop, base, we do have the capital letter V support. There we go. So we have the drop, base, and then drop. And inside the drop, base, drop, we do have the capital letter V. So we mark the horizontal line here at the body candle. And then we move it to the line chart. So when you move at the line chart, you can see that this is a strong capital letter V. Next thing, what should we do? Is we need to find the confirmation at the higher time frame. So since this is a M30 time frame, we will look at the H1 or the H4 time frame. So normally for this case, we can look, this is a double Marubozu candle engulf. Okay, double Marubozu, H4 double Marubozu. Okay, so double Marubozu can use as a confirmation as well besides engulfing candle. So next, we wait for the price to come back and price react to our entry point. So you can have see one, come back again second time, third time before it continues on the downtrend. So do not put your break even early. Okay, you can set it higher up a little bit. Okay, about 30 pips. But in this case, we don't have to even go to 30 pips. We can go up to 20 pips. Up here is fine. Or if you want to stay comfortable with 30 pips SL, you can do so. There is no objection to it. It's all up to you how much you're willing to risk in your trade. Now let's look at some of the mistakes that traders always make. So first of all, a lot of traders do not understand the proper entry point, which is the rally base rally and also the drop base drop. Sometimes they don't even choose an entry point that is not within the resistance or the support. What I'm saying here is that the resistance or the support is not within the entry point zone, as you can look here, an example. So we mark our entry point. In this case, an example is the drop base drop. So the capital letter V, which is the support, is not inside this drop base drop. Therefore, the SOP is incomplete. So this kind of things, we do not take this trade, or we do not count this as an SNRC1. Next, sometimes when the setup has been a very late retest or the entry point is very far away from the drop base drop or the rally base rally, and the worst thing is that when the price has reacted from the danger zone. So I'm going to show you one example on this. Let's go to the trading view chart. Hello guys, so we're back at the trading view chart. I'm going to show you an example of the SNRC1, which is considered as a late retest or the price has touched danger zone. So it is important that we need to do multi-time frame analysis. We need to understand where does the price come from. Then only we will know whether this setup is a late or quick retest, or will this setup still valid to be put as our pending order. So you are very fortunate that we were going to teach you all these things in the Bystra Legacy International. Towards at the end of the course, we will know all of this. Have a look from the top-down analysis until you understand how do we analyze the chart. So let's have a look in this case. So here I found one setup. This is the SNRC1, which in line with our rally base rally. So this is the rally base rally. This is the capital letter A. So if I move to the line chart, we can see that this is a capital letter A. This is the most beautiful capital letter A that we can find if we want to look for the entry point. Now I'm going to draw our zone entry point, which is the rally base rally. Okay, as you can see, price did not come back to the area, and we can know that this will be a super late retest. So I'm gonna keep drawing. As you can see here, when it is late retest, it is considered as a high risk. So what happened when it has become a high risk? Price did not react quicker as it's supposed to. At least this area here is supposed to come down back here, or the most is here, and continue back up. But price did not react to this area. Instead, it continues on the uptrend and come back probably a few days later. As you can see, when it is late retest, considered as a high risk, price did not respect this setup at all. So this is what we consider as a late retest. Okay, even though if we draw the confluence, let's say we found this is a trend line here. See guys, price did not come back to this trend line. It does not even respect this as a confluence. It's because why? We will expect that the price will come back here. Okay, at least the maximum is here. Price will come back here, like this. Okay, like that. But price did not come back, and then price just continue on the uptrend. So when price has lingered around too long, too far away, come back, and you can see it did not respect this as a SNRC1 setup. First is that. Second, when price has comes from a danger zone, then it is also considered as a high risk. So what I'm talking about danger zone, let's look at the H4 time frame. Now, remember guys, your setup is in the M15, correct? Okay, so your setup is the M15. So let's say price, we're gonna do like this. I'm gonna remove this. Okay, you said that okay, price will still react this in this area. The probability is very high. Okay, let's say you draw a trend line like this. Let's see if we can find any confluence here. Okay, like this. Okay, there we can find probably a little confluence like this. But however, in this confluence, price has to react here, not here. Okay, so let me try to help out you guys. But guys, I totally can't find anything because you know what, you see, this has, at least it has to be here, the capital letter V. If we change the line chart, this is a V. This is where we put our trend line. That's the most. But I can't. Okay, so I can't put anything here as a trend line. So you see, price we do not respect this as a confluence. It's too far away. Okay, guys. No need that. Let's have a look at the daily chart. So your setup is an N15, but this price, as you can see, it react from a danger zone. So when I say a danger zone, is that this price reacted from a, what can you see guys? Daily QM led retest. Okay, so when price react from a daily QM led retest, your setup here on the M15 against a daily time frame setup will consider as a super high risk. Okay, so we must always see where does the price come from, guys. Very important. All right. Okay, so if you're able to identify this kind of thing, then it will be easier for you to trade. Okay, here you can see there's an SNRC1 here as well. This is a buy SNRC1. This is very good. Okay, buy SNRC1. Price comes back to this area and continue on the uptrend. Okay, so I think that is all. Okay, so most important guys, if late retest, we do not want to take the entry. There is no confluence. Okay, let's look if we can find any confirmation for this. Yes, there is a double Moru. Okay, but double Moru, a confirmation, but price comes back very late, is also considered as a high risk. We want a quick retest. Remember, it's always quick retest, quick retest. Okay, if we have a trend line, it must be within the confluence. Okay, guys. So I think that is all. There are assignments that I need you to do. So let's go back to the PowerPoint slide. Alright guys, we are back to our slide. So here I would like you to do assignments, 5 screenshots of the SNRC1 setup. So you only have to look for the strong mode. The reason why strong mode is because I want you guys to practice to find the strong mode and SNRC1 so that when we entry, we will have a better confidence towards our entry. So look for the strong mode of the SNRC1, whether you can use engulfing candle as your confirmation or the double Maru as your confirmation, or you can use the trend line as your confluence, which is called the perfect entry. Doesn't matter, as long, important guys, strong mode, SNRC1, capital A, capital V has to be in line with the entry zone. So I'll see you at the next class.